there really is nothing like a real good couple of deep breaths for you to recover from the last few days, because especially if you're in my home area, they've probably been really tough emotionally, partly because, summer's over. And with that said, as hard as it is, again, we are in fall. There are plenty of things to look forward to. How do I know? Because no matter where I've been, I have seen pumpkin flavored or pumpkin spiced everything. Yes, we are finally back in fall for pumpkin stuff. So on that related happy note, happy Thursday, everybody. Yep, it's Thursday. The weekend is almost here. We're over the hump, and it's feeling good. Feeling real good. Insert that one song, I feel good. I knew that would. Okay, so, yeah. Let's see. What's there to discuss today? Well, for starters, I really hope that for those of you who had your first day of school yesterday, I really hope it was a good day. And again, I say I hope every day, but, I really hope it wasn't as bad as you thought it would be. Because it can be tough, emotionally, and sometimes physically. But that's not really a bad thing. It's the fact that you even have your emotions at all was the reason why you are human. That's why the movie Inside Out is incredibly awesome. Seriously, watch the movie Inside Out. It's really, 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 really good. Okay. Well, what is there to talk about? I guess I could say the most, well, I guess I could tell you some of my best experiences on the first day of school yesterday. Oh, first day of school today, give you something to laugh about. Let's see. I mentioned before that after 4th grade, that year was so incredibly hard, where the teacher was incredibly stern and blunt. The teacher was in 4th grade, I mean. That in the summers before 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, I would occasionally have a nightmare in which I was already back to school. I would. In fact, to be honest, sometimes I still get those nightmares, but then I remember, I'm an adult. I don't need to go to school anymore. So, yeah, there's that. Honestly, I think in the end, what really got me nervous was the potential of a workload, worrying about grades all the time, and obviously, trying to make sure my parents don't get mad at me. But in the end, those emotions were helpful. They really were, because they really helped me focus on being able to stay on task. And therefore, I was able to get work done whether I wanted to actually do the work or not. Let's see. But without question, the most emotional, I've had 2 incredibly emotional, technically first days of school. Well, one of them wasn't the first day of school, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's see. Well, obviously the first day, this first instance was the day I entered Horseheads Middle School. It was. I think what ultimately got to me was, St. Mary Our Mother was my home for 7 years. And I honestly while I had more bad years than good, partly because of a certain individual who, again, I never named names, but what got me through it was the good people I knew there. In fact, they were among the first people who I consider to be the good people of Horseheads. So, yeah, there of course is that. Never in my life did I ever really think I'd ever leave St. Mary and Mother, and that was always a really big emotional sort of impact. In fact, I mentioned this the other day, but one of the nightmares I had about going back to school was it was actually sort of dark and rainy on the first day, and I remember feeling really cold. I knew I was at school because there was a kid I knew who was going to go to Horseheads as well, and we're all standing in line, and I'm standing right behind him. I know I was taller than this kid, so there was that. And I realized I was in a dream when I felt cold for whatever reason, even though I was fully clothed in the dream. Honestly, I came to the conclusion that I was not sleeping under the covers, and sure enough, I woke up and, hey, the covers are not on me at all. Actually, maybe they were, I forget, but yeah, sometimes it's easy to tell if you're in a dream or if you're not in a dream. I guess you just sort of figure out when you can call it or when you can't call it. It can be different and a little emotional, but it's not bad. What else? And, I woke up on the first day of school for Horseheads Middle School. I remember crying. I remember they actually came up with a cereal called Frosted Mini Chex, which, you know what? I think I know what, I'm going to put a link into the description of that I hope I find that commercial. It was really good, and Frosted Mini Chex are actually really cool. Especially since, for the longest time, I thought they stopped making Frosted Cheerios. Oh, Frosted Cheerios were awesome. Then again, pretty much every single flavor of Cheerios is awesome. Obviously, if there was a weak link among the flavors of Cheerios, it would have to be just regular Cheerios. I mean, nowadays, there are so many different combinations of Cheerios that you can make all sorts of combinations with it. I mean, there's peanut butter Cheerios, chocolate Cheerios, yogurt burst Cheerios, apple cinnamon Cheerios, honey nut Cheerios. It goes on and on and on. And again, you can make some really cool combinations with it. You combine chocolate Cheerios with frosted Cheerios, you get, vanilla chocolate. Or chocolate peanut butter, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. The Peanut Butter Cup Cheerios, that's really cool. Oh, what else is there? I do suppose... Oh, if you mix apple cinnamon Cheerios with caramel Cheerios, you get caramel apple. That's always a really good one. I should probably figure out how to experiment with that sometime. Maybe somewhere down the line, perhaps. But yeah, there's always that. And let's see what else is there. Yeah, so that morning I had my bowl of Frosted Mini Chex, and honestly I was crying up until I got on the bus. And my heart was still racing like normal, as it would on the first day of school. As well as the fact that, outside of the people I knew from St. Mary and Mother, there really wasn't anyone I knew, maybe outside of the people who were coming from Big Flats Elementary, because I knew people doing Big Flats Youth League basketball, if anyone was coming at all. But it turns out I ended up knowing a lot of people. And the first day of school ended up being pretty darn good. So that was the first instance I legitimately felt the worst on the first day of school. The second instance, while it wasn't the first day of school, the fact that I was leaving home was still pretty heavy on me, emotionally, going to Trinity Pauling. I mentioned this story a while back, but I knew I would go. One of the reasons, I didn't mention this part, but two of the main reasons why I went to Trinity Pauling was because I mentioned that there was this individual who I consider to be the worst person I ever knew at Horseheads. And this person would always beat me both physically, would always, he was a better athlete than I was. And I definitely wanted to surpass him. And that's what Trinity Pauling ended up making me do. because I know that I surpassed everything he could ever hope to do. So there's that. And plus, there was a girl that I liked that I wanted to change for. And I did. But not quite enough where I would actually go out and pursue her with the utmost confidence. So, yeah. A lot of things really panned out well at Trinity Poly. But what really hit home for me going to Trinity Poly was, because you see, Trinity Poly was a 3.5 hour ride. You know, I once clocked it in just under 3:15 just because I'm a bit of a speed demon on the highway. But we're on the part of Route 17 that's going past Elmira. Elmira would have been like on my right, to give you perspective. And again, what really got me was when my grandmother called saying goodbye, because it would have been the last time I would see my grandma for a good while. And after that call, I told my grandmother I love her, which of course I still do. That's never going to change at all. And then I just remember just bawling. Because, again, I love my grandma. I was legitimately leaving home. It was scary. And when I got there, I pretty much immediately had a tiny lunch because I knew I'd be starting cross country. And everything just started from there. It was tough. But I got through it. Plus, I met some of my brothers who I knew almost immediately that they would have my back. In fact, there was one individual who, outside my roommate, was the first person I met. And he and I were sort of dogging at the very... I mean, funny enough, I ended up making the top 7 that year, but in the beginning, we were both sort of, in the back of the pack. I remember reaching out with my right hand, like this, saying, "Hi, I'm Nick." And, I mean, if you're going to shake someone's hand, you got to use your right hand. That's just proper etiquette. And, we really hit it off. In fact, his parents actually were faculty there. I don't know if they still are. Actually, I'm pretty sure they're not anymore. But at the time, they were. And it was overall really good. And, yeah. So, the first day of school can be really hard on people. And for the most part, even though I know it's over, you still have other stuff to deal with. We all do. But you just gotta take it one day at a time. Which is always the mentality that I do whenever I make these videos. So, please like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I could really use the support on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And as usual, I am humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I am hopeful that we all have a wonderful Thursday. And unfortunately, there's going to be I don't know if there's going to be a new episode of Hot Ones today, because they just wrapped up Season 6. But regardless, as usual, if you ever want to talk or chat, I am always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'm always going to have your back. So, take care, everybody.